Big Buck Night, 1999. This is the time when we find out what kind of huge racks has Michigan produced. And we're going to go around the state. We're going to show you a spectrum of counties, a spectrum of racks. On one hand, I was a little disappointed on the size of some of the racks in some of the counties, but I tell you, we have the colossal ones, we have the huge ones, we have the big ones. This is Big Buck Night, 1999. You stay tuned. It's going to be a corker. Now, we're talking about big bucks on this program, and this is what it's all about right here. Now, I know this looks kind of weird. What the heck is this, Tim Hayes?
It's a mannequin for white-tailed deer.
And this is something that you are going to be mounting.
We're going to see how far we can get with it tonight, Fred. It's,
okay.
We'll see what time gives us, but I think we'll get the majority of it done.
Well, already you have the antlers mounted on the form.
Yeah, I've done a lot of prep work already. It should just be a matter of putting it together.
Okay. This is going to be ongoing during Big Buck Night. Don Gadelli, what are you going to do?
I'm going to help Tim with whatever he needs help with.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to get the cape on it, and we're going to be able to watch this throughout Big Buck Night here as it turns into the kind of mount that most of the hunters want who get these big bucks. Right now, let's find out how Big Buck Night works and start off with the bucks in the Upper Peninsula. There are different scoring systems used for deer antlers, but we go by some very simple measurements for the Marbles Hunting Awards, which we give out each year to hunters who get bucks that qualify. And you can qualify three ways. First, if the rack has enough antler points. Our requirements are 10 or more antler points that are 1 inch or longer. Now, a second way to qualify is by having an unusually wide rack. Our minimum is 18 inches or wider. Now, if you don't have enough points or a wide enough rack, you can still qualify if your buck has long antler tines. Our minimum is 10 inches. Those are tall. Michigan has 83 counties, and so far this year we've received entries from 64 of those counties. Upper Peninsula counties that have come up short were primarily the northern counties. Let's take a look at some of the bigger bucks from the UP. On the Lake Michigan side of the Upper Peninsula, Schoolcraft County, this buck is a tall one. It's a wide one. It has 10 points. This was taken by David Witkowski from Dearborn Heights. So you just go hunting up there, huh?
Yeah, every year for the last 7 years.
Well, this is a tall rack. You know, not only are the tines, these tines are 9.5-inch tines there, but it's a tall rack. You know, if we had some category where we measured from the bottom there to the top, this is probably one of the taller racks that we've seen. Well, very good. That southern part of the UP then was kind to your camp.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful buck.
Thank you.
Menominee County produced a lot of deer in the Upper Peninsula this year and did produce some nice bucks. Here's one, a dark rack like they often are in the Upper Peninsula. This one qualified two different ways. 19 3/8-inch spread across the width right there, and it also had 11 antler points. But Bob Jones from Burnups, you wanted 12 points on this, huh?
It'd be nice if it was, but it's a little short.
You're talking about this one right here?
Yep.
That one is broken off. Maybe if it wasn't broken off, it might have qualified to be an inch, but that's almost. But that's a nice 11 point. What was the word up there on hunting this season? Not
seeing near as many deer. The weather was so nice, they just didn't seem to be moving when the hunters were out.
Well, you got the big one. You got the 11, almost 12 point for Menominee County. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, the second biggest buck we found from the Upper Peninsula came from Delta County. Bill Amadon from Durand took this one. It's a, well, Bill, that's a typical 12 point.
Yes, sir.
I mean, those sides match up. They're all good tines. I mean, these tines right here, they're 1 inchers. That gives you the extra 12 points. Now, it does have a phenomenal spread, 20-inch spread, 8 1/8-inch tines. That's a dark rack.
Yes, sir. If you smell it, it smells like cedar. You can smell the cedar swamp in it.
I'll be darned. Well, you're from Durand. You went up to Delta.
Yep.
How was the hunting up there this year?
All the 6 of us in our camp, we brought back 3 bucks. This is the biggest, of course. My brother got a 5, and my brother-in-law got a spike.
Well, very good. That is the biggest buck.
We done outstanding.
Yeah, I guess. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. We did get a late entry in from the Upper Peninsula's Marquette County, which was unusually large, almost as big as the one from Chippewa. And we also have one from Mackinac, but I tell you what, the first guy here, the Chippewa County buck,
This is too big.
I hear you.
You have over a 12-inch tine. You are in the Who's Your Papa Club. And we're going to do that at the end of Big Buck Night, take all of the biggest ones. So if you don't mind, Andy Haywood, just hang on. Look at these two bucks here. These, really, you should compare them. Put them like one underneath the other. You guys mentioned Ron Umbarger from Wyandotte. You hunted Mackinac County. Dan Riley from Grand Rapids hunted Marquette County. But look at these racks. They both had this little curly Q thing. Turn them sideways there. They both have a curly Q right there, eh?
Yeah, and then same tine on both sides.
The same configuration. There's no way they can be related.
3 hours away.
3 hours?
Yeah, a good 3 hours between the two bucks.
Wow. And Marquette County, I was up in Marquette County, didn't see a deer.
We saw 7 different bucks in 4 days, my brother and I. He patterned this buck for 3 years, and we finally saw him opening day rifle season. So.
And there's a lot more to that story. And we also have bucks, some big bucks just south of the bridge. So let's take off and check those out. The northern lower peninsula is the other part of the state where big buck entries were short. Of the 19 northeastern counties around the bovine tuberculosis zone, we've received no entries so far from 9 of those counties. That's not a normal year. Let's look at the biggest ones from the 10 counties that did have qualifiers. The big buck from Montmorency County was a 10-point. It had a 16-inch spread, 8-inch tine, so it qualified only on the 10 antler points, but it was taken by Eric Farnsworth from Millington. How old are you, Eric?
15.
15? So this is your second year of gun hunting?
Yeah. And
second buck?
5th.
5th buck?
Yeah, I've got 5.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
All from up there in the TB zone?
No, I've got 2 from there and 3 behind my house.
No. We had to stop the camera for just a second to sort this thing out legally. 5 bucks, you've been gun hunting 2 years.
2 years.
But bow hunting?
For 4.
4. Okay, we'll carry on now. So this is your 5th buck.
Yep.
Well, that's a great one up there. How was the season for the other people up in that area, you know?
Not too good. It's like only a couple people got deer that I know of up there.
Okay, well, you got the big one in Montmorency County. Yep. 10 points. Congratulations.
Thank you.
From the heart of Area 452, Alcona County, there are some big bucks up there. I haven't seen anything quite this big that I can recall. This is a 10-point with a 19-inch outside spread, good tall 9-inch tines. Joe Russin from Sterling Heights got this one. You got this bow hunting.
That's correct, yeah.
Wow, you know, looking at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there's that 10th point down there. That's an unusual split at the end of that main beam. That's wild. How many years you been hunting up there in that country?
Last 20 years.
And how have you done?
We usually do well. We usually take 1 or 2 bucks a year, but nothing like this.
Nothing like this. That's a tremendously large buck. Of course, you get the award for the biggest buck, Alcona County. You also get the award for the newest flannel shirt right out of the box. That's great that you do that.
Yeah, thank you. I borrowed it from you.
Yes, I know. I don't doubt it. Well, very good, Joe. Great buck from Alcona County, Area 452. Ogemaw County kicked out a buck here. This is impressive. It looks like an Upper Peninsula buck. It's a 10-point with a 20-inch outside spread. Longest tine, 9.5 inches. Matt Bauer, you're from Pinconning, but this is no cheesy buck.
No.
Not at all. What, man, that is dark. What were you hunting, swamps up in Ogemaw?
Hunting the hills.
The hills, huh? Well, that's not in the TB zone.
No.
How was the hunting up there? What's the word from the other hunters?
The weather was kind of warm, so we didn't see as many deer as normal, but I think this guy made it all worthwhile.
Boy, he sure did. That's a beautiful buck. Congratulations, Matt Bauer.
Thank you.
We don't really think of Crawford County as the land of big bucks. There's an awful lot of bucks up there. There's a lot of public land, and this fellow got this huge buck. It's a 12-pointer with a 21.5-inch spread, but look at this. Wow. That is a strange rack. There's an awful lot of bone in that. Now, the other strange thing about this is 15-year-old Matt Harwood. Come on, Matt. 15, you got the biggest buck that we could find in Crawford County.
Yeah, it is.
I understand this is not your first?
Nope, my third.
Third buck? Are they all on public land?
Yeah.
Wow, that is something else. Look at that. This tine up here comes up and splits. That is huge. Didn't you get kind of scared when you saw that coming through?
No, I just wanted it real bad.
I guess so. Well, Matt Harwood, you're from Grayling. You live up there. Congratulations, the biggest buck from Crawford County. It's a huge one. 12.21.5-inch spread. Wow, look at that antler. That's cool. The tip of the mid up there, the northernmost county in the Lower Peninsula, Emmett County, produced this buck. Look at the size of this, 11 points. 21-inch spread, qualifies in both of those categories, has 8-inch tines. Jim Chafee from Levering got this one. Wow, that's a huge one. Was this on private land or public?
Public land.
Public land. So you don't want to pinpoint where that came from?
No.
You hunt that land frequently?
I've been hunting it since the 3rd of October, seeing spikes and 4 points. 2 days after Thanksgiving, I was out and this come in.
Wow, and you hadn't seen this one before?
I hadn't seen them. I had seen 2 bucks fighting out there, but I couldn't tell what they were. It was when all the leaves were on the trees.
Outstanding from the tip of the northern Lower Peninsula, Emmett County. Congratulations, Jim. Oh, Missaukee County kicked out a big buck here. Looks like a swamp buck. Is this a swamp buck, Craig?
Yes, it is.
Man, look at that dark rack. This has an 18-inch outside spread, which qualifies it. Longest tine is 8 inches, but it really stacked up the points here. It has 14 points, but it looks like a lot of them come from down around the...
4 of them come off
the burr there. Yeah. But those, you know, if you count them for an inch long, they make it. Well, Craig Torrey from Lake City, you're how old?
77.
77. And so you've been hunting, let's see, if you
I've
live
been
up
going
north...
since 1929, and I've filled my tags every year since 1934.
No kidding. How does this buck stack up compared with the others?
Oh, I've got a couple bigger than this.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the biggest of the northeastern Lower Peninsula big bucks, at least, by the way we're looking at them this year, came from 3 counties, Antrim, Presque and Clare. And here they are. Hold it up there, Bert. You're going to be back at the end. Who's your papa? 16 points, too many to deal with right now. 12.5-inch tine, too tall to deal with now. You're in the Who's Your Papa Club. Let's start with Dave Dawson from Taylor. You got this in Clare County?
Clare County. Got him in the swamp.
Whoa. That's right on the edge of the Who's Your Papa Club. 14 points, 21 3/8-inch spread. That is a massive buck for Clare County.
He's dressed out at 205.
Holy cow. So how was the season up there? What did people say about it?
Well, they said that the season, they seen a lot of different sized bucks and some deer, but generally they said it was down.
It was down. Well, not for you, Dave Dawson. Way to go. Now we're going to switch over to the northwestern side of the Lower Peninsula. Check this out. The northwestern corner of the Lower Peninsula turned out some pretty nice bucks this year. The only county which did not have an entry was Grand Traverse, the county where the notorious and mysterious Rampolla buck was supposed to have been taken last year. Biggest buck we could find from Lake County, which is just a little west there of the Houghton Lake area. This was an 8-point buck, but it did have a 19 1/8-inch spread, which qualifies. Almost 8-inch tines. Norm Grisinga?
That's correct.
From Kalamazoo. You got this one. What's all this yellow business, you suppose?
Stain of rubbing.
From rubbing, I wonder what was rubbing on to get that. Almost looks like maybe pine or who knows. That's very unusual. You're going to have this mounted?
Yes, this. Yeah.
Biggest buck you've ever gotten?
Negative, no. I got bigger.
Bigger one?
Yes, but not a spread. But it's got a longer tines 8s.
So which is better, longer tines or wider spread?
Oh, they're all good. They're all good.
Yeah, they are. Well, congratulations. That's the biggest one we could find from Lake County, Norm. Mason County, up there around the Ludington area, produced, well, this nice buck. Now, it doesn't qualify for the number of points because it only has 9 points, but they are nice ones. Doesn't qualify really on the tine length. They're 8-inch tines, and we need a 10-inch to qualify, but it does have a 20.5-inch spread. That makes it, that's a massive rack. Terry DeJohn from Grand Haven. That's a beaut. What's the scoop on this? Swamp buck?
Well, he come out of the swamp. I heard about 10 shots, and about 5 minutes later he come through, and all I seen was this up here, so when I shot him, I thought he was a 4-point, till I walked up on him and found him laying there.
Wow, you got a big one there. Now, of course, an interesting thing that you brought down, your wife Diane, why don't you bring that in here, Diane? This is a buck. I think you can see the quality difference on this rack. It's a little weather beaten. Was this on somebody's barn?
It was on my cousin's garage for a long time.
Wow. And that rack got quite bleached out, but the significance of this is a, oh, it's a big one.
13.
13 point. Bring that certificate in there, Diane. This is a certificate of performance, honorable mention, the 1958 Michigan Outdoors Deer Contest, signed by Morton F. Whose rack was this?
My grandfather's. He, when I was 5 years old, just started taking me deer hunting the second week of deer camp. So it's quite an honor for me to have the plaque and the horns now that I can put in my trophy room.
No kidding. And there you go. You have two sets of antlers on the Big Buck Night. And, of course, our Big Buck Night was an outgrowth of Morton F's. That's outstanding. Well, congratulations, Terry DeJohn. Quite a bit of history right there. Osceola County produced a big one. This is a 10-point with a 19 7/8 inch spread. Mark Shea from Waterford got this one. That's the biggest buck we could find in that county, Mark.
Is that right?
Yes,
Wow.
Indeed. That's a nice rack. That's a nice typical rack.
Yeah, it's close.
Now,
It's real close.
the tines are only like 6.5 inches tall, and this, on your shirt, you have a buck right there.
Well, you know, that's the one I passed up.
No, you said that you would rather have that one. Would you rather have a buck?
Well, no, actually, this is fine. This was my biggest bow kill, and I'm just tickled, you know. It's.
But what would you trade taller tines for a narrower rack?
I don't think so. I like the girth and the spread.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
Well, you've got it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Leelanau County, what a beautiful place to travel or hunt deer up there in the Traverse City area. Theron Coleman from Traverse City got this buck. It has 10 antler points. Nice points. Nice, pretty symmetrical rack. Little more than an 18-inch spread, 9.5-inch tines. That's a beaut, Theron. You got this bow hunting?
Yep. November 4th.
Now, you're 17 years old.
Yep.
Been hunting for how many years?
Since I was 12. With a bow.
And how many bucks?
First one.
Oh, way to go. Well, congratulations. That's a nice one. That's the biggest buck that we could find in Leelanau County.
Cool.
Way to go.
Thanks.
You bet that's cool. Benzie's Best from Benzie County. We have a 9-point, but it has a 21-inch outside spread, a tine that is 10 7/8 inch long. Now, this rack has some character. It has a kind of a little different configuration here at the end of the one beam, and it has these tines. Look at the way that curves. Those actually have some curvature to them. So this is an interesting rack. 5 points on one side, 4 on the other. Lawrence Wright from Interlaken.
You got it.
Well, what do you play?
I don't play, but I do rock.
You rock?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. Well, you got this with a muzzle loader.
Yes, I did. It was 112 yards away.
Oh, that's quite a shot.
Yes, it was. A shot of my lifetime, I guess.
Wow. This is a big buck. And that has a little character with the curvature on those tines. Well, way to go. That's the biggest one we could find from Benzie County. Congratulations, Larry.
Thank you, Fred.
From that northwestern part of the Lower Peninsula, we have 2 more racks, the one with the widest spread and the one that qualifies in all 3 of our categories. Manistee, Wexford County. Now, these 2 racks give you a choice. Gary Parrish from Ionia got this from Manistee. Ken Jaska from Buckley got this from Wexford. Now, this is 10 points, and that's 8 points. But that one's 22 inches wide. This one is 19, so it's narrower. This one has 10 5/8 inch tines, and that has 7 3/4 inch tines. He's got the wider one. Which one's better?
They're both the same.
You think so?
Any buck's a nice buck.
Well, I tell
look
you,
at it anyway.
These are for Wexford County. That's terrific.
I hope so.
And you asked me, Gary, if somebody had a bigger one from Manistee County.
I'm just curious.
It's hard to say. You know, you got the length of the tines, the width, and the spread. I think there was one with a couple more points, but not nearly as wide as yours. I don't know.
The buck of a lifetime.
The buck of a lifetime, you bet. Yeah. And we do have Hoosier Papa Club coming up very shortly, but this concludes the first segment of Big Buck Night. We're going to be back with a lot more racks working all the way down to the southern part of the state, so stay tuned.